I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and I don't like playing doctor on the radio, but I know a guy who does.
Yeah.
So how do you, translation sensation, this information about Brock Purdy practicing and throwing today and his chances of playing in the football game on Sunday?
My interpretation. Yeah, it's an interpretation sensation, and they want him to play.
Why wouldn't they? He's a starting quarterback.
Because he has a concussion.
Yeah, but
if you know concussions, and I know you do, and I do, and they know more than we know, and I know a lot, if he plays coming off a concussion, and let's just say he got concussed Monday night at whatever, it would have been about 7:30.
7 minutes to go in the game, yeah.
So about maybe 8 o'clock Pacific time, and we're going to deal with Pacific time for the sake of this argument. So that is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're now 3 days removed, not even 3 days, removed from that concussion. We are 2 days and about 18 hours removed from that concussion. So if you skip ahead to Sunday and he's still coming off a concussion, which he will be, and you put him out there, if he gets hit in the head, if he gets another concussion, it becomes exponentially worse on Brock Purdy to where if the same hit happens on Sunday at 10 a.m. And he's not even 5 days removed, he's maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
He's 6.
He's not 6. He's 5.5.
5.5. Yeah,
Monday night to Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, 6.5.
So whatever. We can do the math all we want. If he gets hit again, the likelihood of that concussion getting far, far worse is dramatically greater than if he doesn't play this week. And, by the way, they don't play next week.
I think that you are assuming there's only one kind of concussion, and that is not my assumption. This could be a quote-unquote mild concussion. It was a delayed response to begin with. Again, I have no idea what he was feeling. I can't even guess what those symptoms were. But the guys are right. By the time they talked about this on Wednesday, yesterday, who knows? He could have graduated through a number of the protocols already. There's no length of time. It doesn't have to wait 24 hours, this, that, or the other. You just have to move through each of the stages. And the NFL protocol has independent neurologists who are checking him every step of the way. And I guess I would throw it back at everybody. If the experts say he's ready, then he's ready. And again, this is just a way that I tend to look at it. This is in a way related to the conversation we had about Christian McCaffrey on Monday. The whole save him from himself thing. If a team of experts say he's ready and the player says he's ready and he's a key player, then you play the game. That's what all of these guys are doing every week. There's massive trauma to their bodies every week. And everybody's getting treatment on Tuesday. And, Tyreek Hill sat out practice yesterday because he's got a shoulder.
Shoulder, not a concussion.
Understood.
These are different things.
They are
and
different
I want to make sure that we say that at every turn.
But I also want to make sure we say that even though we joke, you are not an expert.
No.
They are.
Yes.
Independent neurologist. Yes. So if he is cleared to play.
Right, cleared to play.
He's cleared to play.
Sure.
So he's
cleared to play, but you know this, and they know this, and I know this because I've done a ton of concussion training as a high school coach. When you have a concussion, the likelihood of a further concussion that is worse than the concussion that you sustained the first time is more likely when you play within a certain time period.
Actually, it's true for the rest of your life.
Correct.
Yes.
But in the short term, it's more likely than in the long term. If you get a concussion today and you don't get one for 10 more years, that concussion in 10 more years is less likely to be severe than it is in 5 days.
Understood.
So,
but that is the assumed risk of playing in the National Football League,
right?
In my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But when you have a quarterback who, and we all want to rush to, those two throws that he made, I mean, they were clearly concussion related.
I'm not going there.
I'm not saying that you're going there, but some have said that.
Yeah, you said I'm not going there.
Many people have said that the throws that he made, he was 2 of 6 after the alleged concussion with 2 picks, And many people are saying, well, it's pretty clear that he was concussed. Okay, if that's the case, then why would you want to play him 5 days later when he's 5 days removed from a concussion that led him to throw his 2 worst passes as a Niner? Well, I don't get that.
Then why are we letting them play the following week? Everybody, listen to yourselves. I mean, listen, YouTube now. What if this turns out like Junior Seau? Stop the nonsense. Are y'all kidding me? Do you know how many people in the NFL this year have been concussed and played a football game in 10 days or less after that concussion? The number is probably in the hundreds. And we sit down with nachos and beer and scream at them. Please do not get on your high horse that in some way, shape, or form, what I'm saying is dangerous. It is standard operating procedure, and we are all hook and mouth fans. If the guy's cleared by the experts, he's cleared. So
play him.
But Dibs, your point. No, don't go there. That's not the point. The point is that if a guy got concussed in a practice on a Wednesday, but he played a week and a half later, everything you're saying is still 100% true. But every team has done that already this year, including 49er John Feliciano. This has already happened 100 times, and nobody said boo. And now all of a sudden it's irresponsible to play a cleared player simply because everybody's heard of him?
It's not irresponsible.
And he's in a high-profile position?
I didn't say it was irresponsible.
Some are.
Okay.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that
if he's cleared, should he play or no?
He should not play.
Okay.
If you want to play him, just understand the risks. And we talked about risk-reward in terms of Steve Wilks. And a 0 blitz with 16 seconds left at the end of a first half, risk-reward. The risk was greater than the reward. And if you want to play a quarterback coming off a concussion who it's going to be 5 days, maybe 6 days, maybe 5 3/4 days by the time he plays, the risk of you playing him, to me, is greater than the reward, because the risk is he gets hit again, and now the concussion is worse. Because when you have a concussion followed by a concussion, that second concussion normally knocks you out for a longer period of time.
I hear everything you're saying, and I just think it's fascinating how many people think they know more than independent neurologists. Cleared is cleared.
I know, but independent neurologists are not thinking about the long-term scope of a season. They're thinking about, is he cleared? He's good.
They're thinking about the long-term scope of the person.
They aren't.
They're doctors.
But if they were independent neurologists, they would tell every single player in the NFL, don't play.
Well, right, but they're
so let's not pretend that they're independent neurologists.
I mean, they get a paycheck,
of course,
but all doctors do, and we all go to the doctor and act like they're supposed to care about us, even though they never met us before. That's their job.
Our doctors are different than their doctors.
This protocol was put in place literally after all of the CTE stuff came to light.
Right.
And this is what all of us are operating under, and nobody's had a problem with it until today. I'm not going to get painted over here in a corner as somebody who doesn't care.
Oh, I'm not painting you that way.
I know you're not.
No,
I know you're not. But no, I'm seeing it already. I'm seeing it on our chat. I'm not painting into that corner. Anybody who's over here high and mighty about Brock should not play this weekend, you're hypocrites. You're hypocrites. So many people have played within 10 days of a concussion this year in the NFL. Literally hundreds of them, and nobody said a word. So we're either going to live by the protocol that's in place, or we're not. And if we're not, then I could give you a list from the ceiling to the floor of people who should not have played in football games this year who did. So this is, to me, is no different. I accept the fact that there are rules in place, put in place by doctors and people who are smarter than me about medicine. There are rules that have been put in place about when you are allowed to play coming off of a concussion. I still believe this is going to end up being a moot point because I still believe Sam Darnold is likely to start this football game. But if all of the experts say we have put protocols in place that all players live by, and he has graduated from those in time to play in the football game, I would feel, quite frankly, like a hypocrite if I said, speaking for me, if I said he shouldn't play, because I haven't been bothered by the hundreds of others who have played within 10 days of a concussion this year.
Yeah, I can't speak to the hundreds of others in terms of the concussion protocol. I'm only fixated on the one guy who plays the one position that's most important to the 49ers. And, he got concussed and he threw 2 picks and he had symptoms and they were revealed. And now he is going through the protocol. And if he's able to get through the protocol and he can play, if he's cleared to play, then go play. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that they should hold him out. All I'm saying is if you do play him and he's 5 days removed or 5.5 days removed from a concussion and he gets concussed again, you might lose him for 4 weeks or longer, because the way concussions work, it's exponential. It's not sequential. One concussion and another concussion is not 1 + 1 is 2. It's 1 + 1 = 5.
I don't argue that. But what I argue is if they played again next week, the same thing would be true.
They don't play next week.
I know they don't.
That's my point.
But the point is so many other NFL players have already done that. And largely, many who are thinking right now, and again, this is probably not a good sample, but I'm watching YouTube right now, and that is a certain section of the audience. So many of you who are acting outraged right now, you've been checking Twitter leading up to the weekend to see if your fantasy team was going to be cleared to play. And that's all you rooted for. That's all you cared about. But now it's the quarterback for your favorite team. And so now we've got all kinds of different dynamics that are coming into play. But the high and mighty human angle that some of you want to play with right now, stop it. Stop it. You don't do that. You haven't done that. You haven't done that all year long. You didn't do it last year. And now suddenly you're doing it because it's Brock Purdy, quarterback, San Francisco. To me, I'm going to operate under the exact same thing every week, every year. If the independent doctors say someone's ready to play, then they're ready to play. And that's true about heads and feet and fingers and toes and knees and obliques. Right? Like these are all dangerous things. I understand the head is the most dangerous.
And I disagree with
assumed risk that football players, they can, this is all awful for their heads. It's awful for their heads.
Right.
Every weekend for all of them.
To me, the concussion part of this is not the same as a hamstring, an oblique, a groin, a toe, a knee, an ankle, a forearm, a UCL, whatever. This is different. And in terms of potential re-injury to a guy and you're going into a bye week, I don't know why you would play him, because if he doesn't play now and he doesn't play next week, and we know that, and then he doesn't play again until Sunday, now you're 3 weeks removed from a concussion and you're less likely to, if you get a concussion, have it be as bad as it would be this Sunday.
Yeah, I hope
that's medical fact.
I hope they don't play him.
Me too.
But if he's cleared, I completely understand that they will, because that's the only word they wait for in the NFL.
Right.
You good? You good?
Risky.
I'm good.
This one's riskier than a zero blitz with 16 seconds left on 3rd and 6.
In a general sense, I'll agree with you. However, we are acting like we know the level of concussion.
We don't.
And we don't.